In a world of morons, three friends must come together to mince movies.
Welcome to Morons Mince Movies. I am your host for tonight, Uble Peñalosa, aka Marty McFly. Yes, that's right. This is a Halloween episode, so I am dressed as Marty McFly. Also with me is Michael Myers from 1970 something, and then also Michael Myers from 2022. Yes, that's right. He lives that long, apparently. For those of you who haven't figured it out, we are mincing the latest Halloween franchise, Halloween Ends, I believe is what it's called. Mr. Myers, are you guys just gonna fucking sit there and stare at me and breathe heavily, or are you gonna actually... Don't stab me with that, please. I am legit serious. I don't want to get stabbed today. It's the last fucking time you stab me. Yes, I understand it's a knife. Oh, this is going to be fucking a blast. This is going to be great. So legit, you guys are just going to breathe or... There it is. Yes! I broke you, Michael.
Welcome everyone to a very special episode.
Very special today on a special Morons Make Sense.
I mean, it kind of works out. It's like a Halloween special. You know, you get to see that. Like,
yeah.
Even old school TV and this and that. So just for the record, we did not call each other ahead of time and plan this.
Clearly. Because if we had, if the two guys would have included me, sorry, Michael, I interrupted. Go ahead.
No, thank you for apologizing.
I just feel left out a little bit.
As you should.
Traveled in time.
We had 2 episodes planned, of course, as we usually do. And I had a different costume on, not realizing we were going to do this episode first. Yeah. And just so happens we were wearing the exact same thing. A couple of decades separated.
I'm firing my agent. I was told this was a Comic-Con and,
horror movie convention?
Yes.
Yeah,
I usually make public appearances, but, I was told this was a special show, and you guys are a bunch of fucking morons.
Yeah, no, I mean, fuck, I am a time-traveling moron, so fuck you. I didn't get the memo that we were going to be doing something related to the movie theme, so here I am in my cool Marty McFly outfit, while you two look very cool and relevant. Oh, you only lasted like 3 minutes, man.
Can't breathe under this fucking mask. Jesus Christ.
No, wait. Audience member. Before we started recording, yeah, the one guy. Before we started recording, Sam was like, I'm going to fucking leave this shit all fucking episode. I'm going to commit. And Arturo was like, me too. And 2 minutes? Clock that on the
I'm sorry.
Here, I think that was 3 minutes. You lasted. So, hey, we get to see Michael Myers' face.
And I'm going to go all night long.
Yeah. That's what she said. So, what are we mincing?
Let's get into it. I'm a terrible actor, as you know.
No,
terrible.
The breathing was believable. Acting. Like, I believed that you were breathing when you were breathing into the mic.
Oh, really?
Like, I believed it.
Yeah.
That's just great acting, man.
Yeah.
That's great acting.
So, we're mincing Halloween Ends, which just came out today, actually. Today that we're recording. You can find it on Peacock. It's streaming on Peacock. Or you can go to your local theater and watch it there, because it's on theater and Peacock at the same time.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. I want to get right into it. We'll skip the drinking because
we're alcohol.
Yeah, we got Rasputin alcohol. And the shit
alcohol.
that Uble drinks. But so let's get going with some general thoughts. Let's start with Michael Myers, because this was your movie.
Breathe twice if you liked it. Breathe once if you don't like it. Mm-hmm.
I will say this.
Oh shit! You're actually talking.
It took me. I had to digest this movie. It's Not at all what I expected, especially after how Halloween Kills ended, which we're going to get into.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad movie, but it's not a great Halloween movie.
Oh, shit.
And that's upsetting because this is the end of the as we know it, of the franchise.
Yeah.
And what pisses me the fuck off.
Oh, fuck. Here we go, man.
Is the fact that, Uble, this was your first Halloween movie that you watched. Like, that's what upset me the fucking most while I watched the movie, thinking, man, this is Uble's first. This is what he had to watch.
You pretty much encouraged me to watch Game of Thrones and had me start at season 8. Episode 5. That's pretty much what you did with having me start with. Now, to your credit, Arturo really wanted to make sure that this experience was the best I can have. So he sent me a nice 3-minute recap of each previous Halloween movie that I felt did a really good job explaining it. So walking into this movie, I had a pretty good understanding of like, okay, now I know why it's such a big deal for this town. And for Jamie Lee Curtis's episode, what was character? What was her name?
Laurie Strode.
Laurie,
yeah.
For Laurie, why it was such a big deal? So, none of that went past me. So I wasn't biased in the sense that you don't know the history or you don't know the stuff that they've gone through. It was recapped, but I got it. I got the gist of it.
Yeah.
With that said, this movie on more than one occasion had me saying, "What the fuck?" out loud. Like, legit, what the fuck am I watching? Why? I wouldn't know where. Like, it was good. It was okay. The opening scene. Let's talk about the opening scene because
wait. Before we get into the scenes,
yes.
So let me do my general thoughts.
Do it. Yeah, do your general thoughts.
I want to say that I give credit to the writers for at least trying something different.
Yeah.
Like, this is really different from any other Halloween movie that's ever existed.
It is.
Unfortunately, doing something different doesn't mean that it's good. Sometimes you do something different and it's like, wow, that was fucking awesome. And sometimes you do it and it's like, God damn, you should have maybe stuck to the formula a little bit.
Especially on the closure. The last film of a fucking series, why would you break rank at that point?
Yeah, so I was very disappointed by this movie. And honestly, I've been disappointed. This is maybe where Arturo and I differ. I've been disappointed by this entire trilogy from the beginning because I was hoping that when the reboot one, the first one of the trilogy, I was hoping that was going to be just a one and done. Like, they were going to kill off Michael there, and it was going to be good. We got another killing of. I think there was already a good killing of Michael that existed, which was H2O, and I even think Halloween 2 has a good killing of Michael. But for some reason, they thought we need to try to kill him off again, and. I was hoping I was excited for the first movie. I went to see it. I thought it was good up until the end where he doesn't die. I was like, no, you're going to do more movies. Like, you've already done this. You were supposed to just do this and just kill him off. Dry. And I thought the first movie was pretty okay. Like, it wasn't terrible. The second movie I didn't really like. And this was just like the tragedy is just, So, all right, let's get into the scenes.
I'm gonna be freaked out the whole episode with you, man.
Should we do a spoiler alert here?
I suppose we're gonna get into spoilers. I assume I've learned my lesson that if people are watching this, if person is watching this, then it's because he or she has already watched
spoiler alert,
this.
because even the first scene, there's something happens where it's like important to the rest of the story.
Yes.
So from here on out, spoiler alerts. Right?
So. I swear, man, that shit's gonna be on the whole fucking episode.
This is scarier because I don't know what his reaction is to my comments.
Yeah, that's true.
So like,
he might just bust out his own knife. Like, I don't remember you having a prop knife. It's like, not a prop. So watch what you say about these movies. Yeah, this is so realistic.
So starting off with the first scene,
that opening scene was fucking terrifying. I will say that.
I actually think the movie starts off really
strong. Yeah, strong.
Like,
good footing.
Even though Michael doesn't come out, like, everything that happens up to the end of that entire scene was really good. I was like, fuck that
this
kid,
by the way.
Start.
Fuck that kid. If you've seen this movie, I've never wanted to punch a child more than that scene where this child that is being babysat is just acting like a fucking dick. Trapping him in the fucking basement or attic, whatever. I can never tell the two apart. And then not opening the door when clearly he's in distress and wanting to get out. Now, the reason why this shit is fucking terrifying is because I'm a very anxious person, in case you haven't figured it out. And I tend to think about the worst case scenarios and everything. And that, a lot of people might look at that scene and say, oh, what are the fucking chances of that? Like that happening in that way that leads to that, basically him kicking the door opening, pushing the kid off the balcony, I'm breaking his neck on the way down.
I didn't think it was that far.
It's not, right? It's absolutely plausible.
They really did a good job with that scene.
Michael agrees.
Yeah.
See that? So that's why it was fucking terrifying, is because I saw that and I was like, this can absolutely happen.
Oh, dude, 100%. Yeah.
So here's the thing. So I really liked that first scene, and so like I didn't. They introduced a new character, right? The guy. What's his name? Corey. Yeah. And so I thought, like, okay, this is gonna be some sort of protagonist.
Before you dive in, if I may, like, I loved that opening sequence because it was so. We have to remember where the last film left off, in the sense where finally we had official confirmation that Michael is supernatural. There's been a lot of alluding in a lot of the movies.
I
feel
touch
like
on that.
From the first movie, we know that he's supernatural.
That's the thing. There's always been an alluding to he's more than he's more than a man, evil, this and that. But at the very end of Halloween Kills, while Laurie is talking about him killing makes him stronger, he fucking annihilates that mob of people.
Yeah.
Proving his supernatural
powers.
But do they ever go beyond that? Do they ever?
Well, that's where Kills ends.
Well, he ends up killing Laurie's daughter.
Right, Laurie's daughter.
Right, that's
so having the movie end like that, when this opened up with what appeared to be an entirely unrelated event and some really shitty bad luck, and then we get into the other opening sequences and we see someone taking their life and other shitty situations.
The town has gone to shit, which I also liked because. Sorry, go ahead. I interrupted.
That's with the eyes.
I know. Don't kill me, please. I apologize. The floor is yours. Go on.
I was going to say that. I thought it was going to allude to now, like, the town being cursed, and it was going to get into something like that, where there's going to be more things happening, and then it was just about Corey.
There was a lot of false starts in this movie, like that. Yeah. The thing is, like. Yeah, go for it.
I was gonna say as a non like
Halloween
person, there's a lot. Okay, I'll get to the choices later. I don't understand why the last movie in this Halloween franchise, or at least in this trilogy, that has to do with Michael Myers, has so little
to do with him.
Like so fucking little.
He was relegated to a cameo in his own movie.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Pretty shitty.
I mean, I'm gonna hang out in the sewer. For whatever reason, and although I've survived fucking gunshots, knife stabs, burnings, falls.
That's what
oh shit! Here comes this 24-year-old. Takes my mask away.
Why did he go into hibernation? Is he a bear or something?
Like, where was the Pennywise shit coming from? Like, especially again after Halloween Kills establishes him as a supernatural creature that's all powerful all of a sudden.
Then he's like,
why do you disappear?
And then he's also this weakling kind of old man. Corey totally dominates him, and one scene where he takes away his mask and he just fucking goes.
And then all it takes too is one random kill for them. All of a sudden he's like powering up again. I'm all like, then why? Why did you get to here? Why did we get this whole
why did he need to jump 4 years? Why do we need to jump 4 years? Why in the first two movies of this trilogy, right? There's no jump. It basically continues exactly where the first one ends. Yeah, it's the same night.
That's been a common thread within Halloween.
Yeah, which happens in the first Halloween and Halloween 2. And then Halloween Kills ends with him fucking annihilating a whole a crowd of people, killing Laurie's daughter, and he just decides like, I'm gonna take a break. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Why did Michael do this? And the's no explanation. It's just like, we're just gonna have to accept this because we want to introduce this fucking plot line about some guy who I guess gets possessed by Michael, or like the evil passes to him. I don't understand what the fuck is happening there.
The crazy thing, the upsetting thing is that idea on its own isn't a bad idea.
It isn't.
It's a bad idea to do it at the very end of your fucking whole conclusion.
I agree. Like this
it goes so off track.
Absolutely.
It's a good thing to do. You know what? This might have been a better like reboot, like where I don't know. It's a good, like you said, I agree with you. It's a good idea, but not for this movie, where the whole point of this trilogy was to give us a satisfying ending to Michael, which again, I want to go back because I have been satisfied with Michael's death. When H2O, when they came out with H2O, Halloween H2O, I thought that was a great ending. Like, It was cool. Laurie fucking chops his head off, and it was like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, and the whole movie builds up to their confrontation. Like, the movie is about Laurie. Laurie is the main character.
You feel the
It's
tension.
about her, and like it's building, and you know she has a son in that version of the story.
Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, and it all ends. It all ends with the battle between them, and she fucking chops his head off, and it was great. And then they fucked it up by doing the movie afterward, which I don't even remember what the hell it's called. With
Resurrection. I do want to say this is Arturo, you didn't send me this many recaps, man.
So here's the thing.
No.
There's
You
been
have some explaining to do.
And I'll explain it right now.
He was
Okay.
only giving you the trilogy recap.
There's been several timelines.
Yeah, this timeline. Yeah.
There's been a total of 4 reboots.
Did not know that. I am looking at this list of all the Halloween movies, and it looks like a shit ton, man.
So the original timeline is Halloween 1978, Halloween 2, Halloween 4, Halloween 5, and then the
And 6.
weirdly unrelated 6, which technically is still part of the same timeline.
Wild.
Here's how-
It's completely separate. And then after that, we had Halloween 1, 2, and then H2O, which was originally written to be a part of 5 and 6, 4 and 5, but then that was dropped.
Yeah.
And then we had the
It is-
reboots, directed by Rob Zombie.
This is
Halloween 2007, and then Halloween 2, which followed right after that. And we eventually got the new trilogy.
Yeah, and this is all because people just can't
much,
accept that Michael was really killed off in
That's
Halloween 2.
so
Or
much.
the studio execs knowing they can make more money.
Yeah, but he was. I mean, John Carpenter made 2 movies, and they were complete. It was a beginning and an ending. Halloween 2.
I mean, well, the first 2, you can argue there's one big long movie.
Yeah, it's one. It all takes place in one night. Halloween 1 and 2 and
Did not
everything.
know that.
And it really is Halloween.
Yeah.
And it ends with fucking Michael getting burned to death, and he's not supposed to come back. And number 3 was actually a movie about something completely different.
Really?
Michael did not come out at all.
There was some sort of anthologies.
He didn't
that's
come
not
out at
no,
all?
that's not
Yeah.
entirely correct. He is in a movie script. Like,
He's in a
Yeah,
commercial.
but he's not a character like an
Which
existing.
was actual footage filmed for that movie. It didn't. It wasn't like.
That's fine, but it still came out on TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
It came out on TV inside
So-
the movie?
Yeah.
Then
So-
yeah, that's not actual footage. That's
So
not,
it
doesn't
was,
count.
It was
Doesn't
a great.
count.
It was a great idea because they were going to do anthologies of every Halloween movie would be just another story that just takes place in Halloween, and that was actually a
yeah,
good
that would've-
idea.
yeah.
You killed off Michael. Now you're gonna tell some new stories or whatever. But you know, people didn't receive Halloween 3 as well because they wanted
Yeah.
Michael back, and so they fucked it all up back then
and
by
let me put it
by
this
making
way.
4.
Like in this day and age, how much backlash there is on the internet that constantly causes studios to sometimes retcon things or create new movies and this and that.
Yeah.
Imagine the backlash that had to exist in the 80s.
In the 80s.
For them to be like, oh shit, no, we got to bring Michael
Yeah,
back.
that's true.
Like,
was
it
probably
was
loud.
loud and deafening on how much people wanted Michael Myers back in a Halloween movie.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's just because the 3 kind of bombed. I think I'm
It
not
did,
I'm not
yeah.
sure about
I mean,
that.
it was better received later on as its own entity.
Yeah, it's
but
actually a
not-
pretty decent horror movie. That tells.
bonkers for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy
And
shit
it's
that happened in
cheap
like.
to make. I mean, you don't need any special effects, any grand makeup. You just got the mask and
Michael Myers.
No, there's a lot that goes into it.
that's
man.
right, the blood. I wasn't
But-
downplaying it. I was just saying compared to other big.
Wait, where
Let's
were
get
we
back
already?
into Halloween
Yeah,
Ends.
okay.
Let's get back into Halloween
Back
Ends.
to Halloween Ends. Where did we leave off?
Hold on,
Michael-
I will say that I don't
Subplots.
understand. While I was watching it, I didn't understand why they continue to celebrate Halloween so much in a town where
All these
horrible
murders
things
happen.
have happened on Halloween.
Yeah.
Like me personally, if something horrible happened on Halloween, I'm not bringing out the jack-o'-lanterns next year or 10 years from now.
Well, the idea is also to try to move on and celebrate this.
I get the idea. No, I get the idea.
Yeah, but
I
you
just
had
don't
crowds
understand.
be killed.
Like literally, this isn't like, oh, there's that one guy that was killed. Like, this is like everybody knows someone that
Multiple.
was murdered.
In
And
this
not like discreetly or like, oh, fuck, they went peacefully. Like, horribly murdered
Yeah.
in this small town. And yet it's like, Halloween's out. Oh, fucking trick-or-treating,
Because
jack-o'-lanterns.
Halloween is cool.
That's what
It is cool. And I also didn't like the irrationality of the townspeople, which were like, for some reason, blaming Laurie for all the killings.
Yeah,
They were like,
Yeah.
like, what the
Honestly?
fuck? Like, didn't you see that Michael just killed a bunch of people?
Yeah.
I mean, he did it in front of everybody.
Clearly.
Like, he wasn't hiding or anything. Like, this isn't Laurie's fault.
Yeah.
She was trying to help everybody out and warn people and stuff. And you're still, like, that all kind of just pissed me off as there was no real justification as to
Nope.
why the townspeople were mad at Laurie and her family and like treated them so badly. Like I would think that they would be treated as like heroes in this town.
The only thing that I thought was maybe because it's been a long passage of time, but you guys probably know better than I do from the last time that there were murders to this movie. How long has it been?
It's 4 years according to
that's right, 4 years.
4 years
past. That's not a long time for it to like. I thought maybe it was generational, like, oh, my parents talked about this crazy lady who was almost murdered. Let's outcast her as the weirdo. But no,
that's kind of how the first movie in this trilogy was, where like a long time had passed and Laurie had basically become like a recluse, and people thought of her as kind of weird because she was like, like locking everything and all that stuff. So I want to talk about the possession thing because we kind of went off track. Like, what did you think about that? Like, it didn't make any sense to me.
I had a conversation with my tattoo artist, Choi. Love you, man. Shouting you out. He was actually wondering if whether or not this movie was really the end. That he had that idea. I mean, as a lot of people do on the internet.
No.
And in my head, when I went into this film thinking, I think it is the definite end of Michael Myers. However, because in this era of legacy sequels and like passing the torch, in my head, I remembered the ending of Halloween 4 where the evil gets transferred into little Jamie. So I saw that happening to Allison in my head, and like she would carry the next films and be the new slasher.
Which they retconned in 5, right? They just like completely...
They just like, never mind, we don't want to go in that direction. But that was such a cool concept. So that's what I thought was going to happen in this. And interestingly enough, Corey's storyline kind of is that, but again, why have that be during your conclusion? And it was so ineffectually explained.
Yeah, and I thought like maybe he was gonna start getting his powers in the sense of like he's kind of immortal in a weird way, but he was still just a human. Like he felt all the pain when he was hurt and everything like that. Yeah. But for some reason he still got like some extra strength because he did some shit that only Michael could do, which is when he slams that guy's
picks someone up
head
against the wall and stabs them.
That was Michael. But there's a moment where it's Corey and in the Michael suit, and he's like slamming the DJ's head onto it. And he slams him so hard that he like splits his fucking jaw open. Yeah. And that was like, that's a Michael Myers thing.
I can do that.
So you're telling me that he's getting the strength that Michael has now? But then you have another scene where, he just fucking, he's like, he's just a human. He gets shot or like stabbed and he's hurting and he's in pain and all that stuff. So it was...
it was inconsistent in that sense. I did, same as you, Arturo, in a different way, but I did feel at certain points in this movie that they were going to transition this to now the granddaughter, Allison. As being, because of the trauma, the PTSD that she's experienced in having her mom murdered and having to grow up with her grandmother who's been infatuated with the serial killer, that she would now grow up to be also with that mentality of a serial killer, which was like, my grandmother whose love I've yearned for is too focused on a serial killer. So I too will become a serial killer so that she can have interest in me and love me the way she loves
That's
this
a very
Michael Myers.
Interesting story.
And then it would have continued. The trilogy would have, like, if it would have ended with Allison being like holding the mask or like,
you still kill off Michael, like,
and you still kill off Michael in a cool way, but now you continue it with her as like the deranged, and there's reason as to why it happened that way is because
that's a great story. I wish
she has trauma. She has PTSD from her family being involved in this.
There was no reason to introduce a new character in this. We already had characters that we had been following the last 2 movies. Laurie, for example, should have been the main character in these movies, last 2 movies, Halloween Ends and Halloween Kills, where she was like thrown off to the side for the most part. And like you're right, the daughter and the granddaughter in this case were also main characters that started from the first movie of this trilogy and stuff. And we should have just kept following them. There was no need to introduce a new person that we don't care about. We haven't been following for the other 2 movies.
You're talking about Corey.
Yeah, Corey. Okay. Yeah. And he becomes like a main character. He has, I think, the most screen time out of all of them.
Oh, for sure he does.
And more than Michael, more than Laurie, more than maybe Allison has about the same. I don't know. She comes on in and out, but yeah, it's more about Corey, and then all of a sudden he gets killed off by Laurie.
He commits suicide.
Kills himself.
Kills himself.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, technically no, because Michael actually does the final. Yeah, right. He's still alive somehow.
Which I thought that killing himself thing, when Allison's Laurie's holding the knife, she pulls it out of a dead Corey, or semi-dead Corey, and Allison walks in, and there's like this, oh no, it was, I swear I didn't kill him. Like, clearly this man is in your home. All you had to do was say, he fucking came here trying to kill me, so I defended myself. Mm-hmm. Why would you think anything other than that? Like, why was Allison's reaction like, what did you do to him? Well, no.
That one made a little bit of sense. It was a little cliche, but it made sense because there's some scenes in that happen where she is pissed off at her mother, because her mother doesn't want her to be with this man because
grandmother.
The grandmother.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting. Laurie thinks that she's the evil in this guy in Corey that she saw in Michael.
I get that.
That was already established, so I can see why
then,
she would.
There's no reason why Corey would have been in the home. Oh yeah, no.
It's a very cliche scene, like walking at the moment, and I'm holding the knife. But whatever. I forgave that because at least they established something which made it justified. That's all I care about. So you can be cliche as long as you establish something.
How did you feel about the seniors and the level of bullying that they displayed? Because that was a very diverse group of fucking bullies. I've never seen such a wide range of ethnicities in one group of bullies.
I'm glad that the bully community have
a lot of
been more
bullies.
Inclusive. Yeah,
exactly. They're making progress.
Yeah, usually it's all white men, but now you have like a black
let's
woman.
Let's not just stop there. There's different groups of races.
What's
that
interesting
have
as well,
bullies.
on top of that, is that they were band kids.
Yeah, marching band.
That's right.
Fuck, you know how bad those marching band kids can be. Damn, those ruthless thugs. They took my lunch money every day for my senior year. This marching band, they menacingly waved their saxophones at me. It was terrifying.
Oh,
so yeah, that entire, like, it was so exaggerated when they encounter Corey on the bridge,
and then they throw him over the bridge.
They fucking throw him over the bridge. And even the worst bullies that I've known would have been like, "Fuck, we fucked up. Let's get help, or let's fucking bounce and just be done with this forever." They're like, yeah, fuck that guy. Let's get out of here. Let's go to the party. And then they go back and torment him like the very next day. Like, motherfucker, you're lucky he's alive.
Yeah,
and you're not wanted for murder. Why would you go back and bully him more? Because it's a group of fucking TV bullies. Oh, shit. I saw you, Noel.
Noel was crying over there laughing.
Michael, what do you think, man? Give me some more. You've been oddly quiet. I know you're not usually quiet, but
yeah,
usually a very talkative person.
Very talkative.
When he's not killing, he's like just talks
non-stop.
and talks. Yeah. Like, shut the fuck
These
up,
are my
Michael.
favorite oils.
Yeah.
Lavender helps you sleep, shit like that. It's like, dude, stop already with your essential oils.
I mean, ultimately, it's not the follow up that was. And here's the thing too, because I'm a big thing of like, I get annoyed when I hear like people complain. Well, that's not the movie I wanted. Okay, sometimes I don't think that's warranted because then you just sound spoiled.
Yeah.
But when you have something that ends the way Kills did, and then you lead into this story that completely sidelines Michael after evolving him into supernatural mode. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it wasn't a bad movie. It's just, like, why would you do that towards... Like, those are my biggest things. Like, why would you do that towards the end? And the fact that Michael had a cameo in his own film, ultimately, once Michael did show up, okay, that was what we tuned in for. That was this...
The killings were pretty intense.
Everything's been talked about there. The final confrontation, last time.
Even the final confrontation was very anticlimactic because there was no build-up. There was no build-up to it. We spent so much time with Corey.
I spent the past 40 years.
Yeah, but not in this... No, but we're talking about this particular movie where he's sidelined and everything like that. Again, I compare it to H2O, for example, where the whole movie is about Laurie. She's the main character going through her grief and dealing with the life that she has now, and still like Michael kind of haunting her in the background, and then having to confront him one more time. Like everything was built up for that confrontation, everything, and it ended with a bang. This one, it's like, we're going to talk about this other guy, like for an hour and a half, basically.
Yeah.
And then at the end, Michael shows up and, all right, let's have our fight. It's like...
And then, hold on. To top that awesome fight off, when he dies, they somehow unanimously decide to carry him into this grinder. Careful, he's a serial killer. He was a serial killer. Like if you've seen Spider-Man 2 by Sam Raimi, when Toby, aka Peter Parker, passes out from holding the train from falling off the cliff, you've all seen it. And the New Yorkers inside are like, careful, carry him to safety. He's no older than my son. That famous scene, that's exactly what fucking happens in this movie. After a serial killer dies and they need to transport him.
The context is different though. No one's cheering him on.
Does it matter? I would have been like, grab him by the fucking hair and drag his corpse and on your way to the grinder. Why are you so carefully like, careful here? You support the buttocks. More support. More support in the buttocks. He's falling down in the buttocks, you guys. We need more support. Don't be afraid. Just get in there and carry. That's exactly what was going on. And then somehow the whole town knows that he's died. There's a scene where like they're walking the caravan. A fucking caravan. Not like 10 people. It's a fucking caravan.
She got the word out fast.
She tweeted that shit under 120 characters. And I'm sorry, I'm not, again, for someone who's never seen the Halloween movies and caught up with it with YouTube clips, I enjoyed this movie enough that I actually saw it all the way through. And that's saying a lot because I'm not afraid anymore of having a movie where I'm like, I've lost interest. I don't need the closure. I'm not going to say it's a bad movie. I'm just going to say it wasn't able to sustain my attention for the full fucking movie. This one did. I enjoyed it. I felt like there were a lot of wrong turns. Wrong turns.
Why are you guys afraid to say that it was a bad movie? I think it was
a bad movie. It was a bad movie. But it was like, a good bad movie.
I mean, it wasn't like, The Room or whatever.
No. I mean, not bad, good movie. It was a good bad movie.
It was just it seemed like... it was just I don't know what they were thinking. There's like why they thought this is the way to end it. But I want to get into like the killing of Michael because you thought it was satisfying. Even his killing wasn't satisfying to me because after all he went through, I mean, he ends up being killed by slicing his wrists and letting him bleed out and like slicing his neck and then letting him bleed out like. He's bled a lot. I mean, in Halloween Kills, doesn't he get like stabbed multiple fucking times or something like that? It didn't seem to affect him. He got right back up and killed the entire crowd. But in this one, it's like, let's just slide his wrist. I'm surprised they didn't put him in a bathtub and do like the whole Godfather scene.
Hit him with like a mallet. Boink. Like that'll do it, you guys.
I mean, fuck. I mean, it was cool that they took him to the goddamn, grinder, and they threw him in there. That was pretty cool.
That was pretty
cool. I wish that would have happened in some sort of action scene where
accidentally, right?
Where they set it up or he like
they're fighting above the cliff.
Or something like that. Yeah. But when they actually technically he's already dead there. They're just like trying to make sure just completely destroy the body.
I will give them credit. That is something that no other horror movie has done with the body of a villain, which is let's fucking make sure let's not walk away. Why is everyone walking away from this murder scene? He's literally just laying there. Like let's finish him off. Let's burn him or fucking chop him into pieces. Yeah. That always happens in scary movies and it pisses me off. So when I saw that they actually watched him go into the grinder and watched him get grinded, I was like, okay, good. Finally someone does something fucking reasonable. I will say during that scene where she's in the kitchen with Michael Myers and she has the knives through his hands and then she manages to just pull his hand out and severing important tendons that are needed to hold a firm grip. Yet he's still able to, with this fucking squid hand, grab her by the throat and apply enough pressure to choke her where she can't break free. It seemed very hard to take it seriously. I looked past a lot of things in this movie. I read somewhere that it would have been a good... I'm sorry, Michael. I hear you breathing, man. Please don't murder me.
I don't know.
I use the force.
Yeah. I read somewhere, and we can end it on this, is someone said that this would have been good if the trilogy would have been reversed, which is the first one of the trilogy, Laurie is, trying to move on and forget about this. And then the second one of the trilogy, She is what happens in the second one? Is she like
she's in the hospital because she got hurt? Yeah.
And then in the third one, she builds this bunker and she's now ready to fight him. They said if that would have been a reverse, that would have been a good trilogy. And I agree, even though I haven't seen the full movies. I feel like that would have been a better progression of her character.
Out of curiosity, Uble, does any of this give you any intrigue in watching maybe some of the others?
Definitely not all these others. Definitely not all the branched out movies that all the people have agreed is not canon.
Does it at least make you want to watch the original?
The original, maybe. Yeah.
I think you need to watch Halloween original and Halloween 2. The original.
I would watch those again. I'm not a big fan of horror movies.
I mean, this alone is I feel like at the very least a huge step in towards progressing as a man. And
I'm starting to see hair in places there was no hair before. And it's because of watching Halloween, apparently. Yeah, no.
Halloween 2, I think, are a nice, perfect beginning and end. Honestly, if you finish there, like that's a great Michael Myers story right there. If you want to do
Halloween
a little bit,
and then Halloween
2.
Oh, Halloween 2.
Halloween 2. Like that's a John Carpenter, 2 movie. They're both directed by John Carpenter. Great.
Did you know this? So John Carpenter wasn't really a carpenter in real life.
Yeah,
he directed movies.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Fucking liar.
And if you want to go further than that, I say watch H2O because it does follow Halloween 2. They don't really explain how the hell Michael Myers survived the fire, but they just be like, oh yeah, he survived, whatever. But then they do kill him off really nice in that movie.
That's the one with LL Cool J.
Yeah, that's the one with LL Cool J. That's why I got confused, not because what I said earlier.
Yeah. No, it's definitely...
I truly apologize.
Confusing names, but yeah.
I'm crying because I don't want to be canceled. Just don't cancel me, please.
Most fans won't even know what you're talking about. They're like, what the fuck is he referring to? Join the Patreon to find out. With just $1 a month, you can get the audio that I'm sure will be cut out of this episode.
I don't know.
Find out what it's all about.
I haven't cut out some crazier shit than that.
That's true.
Anyways, final thoughts, Michael, before we get to the grades. I think we should end it here unless you want to say anything else.
How many stab wounds?
I know you're very passionate about.
How many stab wounds?
I wanted more. I wanted a more satisfying ending to the whole franchise.
Yeah. So that gives you...
there was some cool kills. The acting was still solid, but...
Is that the emoji where he's like sad and looking sideways?
Oh, this is my grade now?
Wait, no. Let's start with Uble and end with Michael.
Grades.
Mike, I wanted his final thoughts before we ended.
Sorry, fuck, I cut that out again. I'm sorry, Michael.
And then we'll go to the grades.
Anything
else?
Ultimately, we went. I feel like I've said it enough.
You wanted more. You didn't feel like this was a proper ending to Michael Myers.
Right, go for
being someone that just walked into this brand new, I would say I can see how this would have had more potential for much better writing, much better. Like, it's a good character. I like that it continues with the same victim per se with Laurie. Like, I like that. And I feel like I mentioned, if they would have somehow transitioned it to the granddaughter, it could have been a very interesting take. And yeah, as far as scary movie goes, I feel like it was okay, but I know that it could have been a lot better.
What's the grade?
Oh, we're doing grades. I thought we were
0
just
out of 10.
Final thoughts. 0 out of 10. I'm doing numbers, right? Not percentages. I give it a 7.1.
Wow.
Yeah, just above a D. Just above a D.
Because
it was so outlandish. I was like, yeah, fuck it.
I was very disappointed by this movie. This was, yeah. I mean, again, I do want to say that, I mean, the writers tried something different, so I commend you for that. I like it when you tried something different. But in this particular case, like Mike over there said, you sidelined the fucking main villain. You he's what everybody goes, he is Halloween. I mean, Laurie is also Halloween, and Laurie was sidelined. You sidelined the two fucking main characters of the entire series, and you put the whole movie about this guy we just met in this movie that we don't care about. And for that, I'm sorry. This is gonna get the lowest grade I give to any movie. This is a D-. I apologize, but this was really, really bad in my opinion. I honestly like the only redeeming quality is the fact that you tried something different. But I really can't. Like, I thought the performances were like average at best. There wasn't anything like even Jamie Lee Curtis had this one scene where she says like you can fuck grief by showing its tits or something, which I thought was so lame. Like I don't know if you remember that. I don't remember
that. No,
I don't like. That came out of nowhere. I was like, what the fuck? but yeah, I'm sorry. This is just this was a bad movie. This is a bad movie. This actually is the lowest grade I've given for a movie this year.
Michael Myers is watching you, dude.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna need this.
I was afraid that he was gonna get mad at me because I was like
he's gonna murder you.
No, I'm sorry. So up to you, Michael. What are you gonna? I'm sorry. I
love wearing this thing.
Yeah, man. It's scary.
I mean, I've already said my bit. I saw this. I streamed this up by myself while Maya was editing, and then I'm glad I didn't go to a movie theater to see it at home instead, and then I rewatched it today with Maya.
Wow.
So
you rewatched it?
Yeah, just because I still wasn't like 100%.
Sure,
you couldn't accept it. You were like you were in the 5 stages of death.
Maybe I missed something.
You were in denial
the first time. Maybe I missed something. Let me go back and watch it again. Maybe he actually did something different than what I remember. Yeah. So emoji wise.
Yeah, what's the? I'm interested to finally see a different emoji.
Right?
Like, this better not get the second to highest emoji. Like this at least got to be the third to highest.
This is a winky eye emoji.
I'm excited.
I want to say it's that disappointed one. Noel, bring it up. It's the one where he's like, he's looking sideways, like whatever.
What is it, Michael? What is
it? X eyes.
A regular smiley face.
What is a regular smiley face? What the fuck does that mean?
They didn't even get below a smiley face. It's just like a content, like.
There's no loop on the eyes. It's just regular
eyes.
And a
There's no blush on the cheeks.
God. Is that the third highest? Is that number 2? Because the lowest is a frowny face, right?
No, the lowest is it's just the eyes.
It's a middle finger.
Oh. So there's no frowny face in your...
There's no frowny faces.
Jesus. So what is this?
Ultimately, this means that I am not in a rush to rewatch it anytime soon, or maybe perhaps ever. But if the homies want to watch it, I'm down to watch it again.
Okay. That made me... Because I was like, you said rewatchability was a huge thing, and you just said you would never rewatch it alone. But if friends, then I can see why that's a step above. Okay.
This is the third highest one, right? Not the second highest.
No,
I need to fucking.
This is third.
This is
I have 5 smileys.
Out of five, this is 4.
Correct.
Okay, so
5 would be even if friends came to your house and said, "Dude, I haven't seen that movie. Let's have a few drinks and watch it." You would be like, "No." I would rather watch paint dry. That's 5.
That's
-5, and the -4 is like I wouldn't watch it, but if friends came over and asked to watch it, fuck it. I would bite my tongue.
The step right above is like, I'm watching. The step right above, oh fuck yeah. And then the step above is like, oh my god, yes.
We learn something every day. I'm getting a better understanding of your rating. I like it.
I understand it doesn't come easy to.
And also,
I like it. I like it.
I want to say one thing. There was like no scares in this movie. Like I never.
That scared me. The opening sequence.
The opening sequence was the only one.
It was thrilling, and I was into it, but it was not like it was. I just wasn't any. There wasn't even like a good startle. Like even like a good boom.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm sorry. Okay, let's end it, guys. I know it's very disappointing. We should.
You're crying. Shit, I'm not crying.
I'm
gonna get in my DeLorean. I'm about to get in my DeLorean and time travel, fucking 2 hours ago, and not have this conversation about this movie. No, that's not true. I'm gonna travel to the future, to 2025.
This has been
when the new Halloween movie comes out.
When the new Halloween. And then I'm like, don't watch it, man. I guarantee it's not going to be a good time. Yes. The day after Halloween.
Followed by The White Mask Rises.
November 1st.
Next week, we're doing the episode of Morons Make Sense on horror. And we're going to go through all kinds of stuff, I'm guessing. We haven't really even discussed it. The history is going to be great. So join us next week. Until then.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, yeah.
It's
Morons Mince Movies.
Happy Halloween. Yeah.
Signing out. Good night.
Please don't stab me. Ah! Doc! Help me, Doc! This is heavy. Ow! Son of a bitch, that hurt! That one did hurt!
Really?
Yes! This is sharp.
Is it really? It's me.
Why would you do that, man? I thought we were friends.
All right, good night.
Hurt.